Up to this point, we sort of focused on how to find reasons and make sure that you develop those reasons well. But over the course of your research, you'll probably come across a lot of different reasons. And so you have to winnow them down and sort out which ones do matter and which ones do not matter. And this is where testing comes in, right? So testing essentially involves looking to what extent you can find evidence across your two cases to validate whether these reasons are actually related to your thesis. And so in this short little video, I wanted to go over some of the basic testing logic using Gladwell's article about the 10,000 hours as an example. So here, let's just quickly refamiliarize ourselves with Gladwell's central argument. The thesis, you may recall, was that exceptional success, those are the outliers, are the result of talent as well as the opportunities needed to practice 10,000 hours. So here he makes the argument that people vary in their innate ability, and that difference in innate abilities means that those who have higher abilities will be more successful. But what he finds is that ability in and of itself is too narrow, too limited of an explanation, because it cannot explain why you have a large number of people who have very high IQ, that is, are very talented, and yet do not end up as outliers, as Bill Gates or Stephen Jobs types of individuals. And so he points to two additional factors. The most central one is the fact that in order to be really exceptionally good at something, you need to practice 10,000 hours. That's his 10,000 hour rule. And he points out that in order to be able to practice 10,000 hours, you need opportunities. And one factor that contributes to such opportunities are certain financial resources. That is, if you come from a better well-to-do household, you don't have to work as much as a child and can therefore devote more time to practicing at the thing that subsequently will make you phenomenally successful. You also need connections, he points out, as well as a little bit of luck. And the third reason is the timing. He finds out that very often these outliers are far more likely at times when you have major new technological breakthroughs, because these new technologies open up entire new sectors in the economy, new markets that can grow very rapidly and thereby create enormous amounts of wealth in a very short period of time. Okay, so this is his central argument. So here's a very sort of simplified form of how to think about testing, right? So here you have your two cases that you're comparing, and you find that they vary in terms of their outcomes. So person A is highly successful, it's an outlier, person P is unsuccessful. So this is the outcome that you're trying to explain. That's your dependent variable. And what you have here is 5 independent variables, or 5 possible causes. These are the very same causes that we just reviewed in Gladwell's argument. And so you go out looking whether you can find evidence for those 5 causes. And each cell here tells you what evidence you found. Now what this table sort of indicates is an unsuccessful test, because what you find is that in person A, you have a correlation between being very successful with high IQ and 10,000 hours, but you have no information how talented or how many hours person B practiced. But you know that person B also had a lot of connections and had a very favorable timing, but again, you don't have comparable information for person A. The only piece of evidence that you have for both individuals is the available time and money. It was available in both cases. And given that this reason was the same for person A and B, we can eliminate it as a possible explanation, because something that is constant across two cases cannot explain a difference in terms of outcomes. So what you have here is essentially a failed test, because what happened in this case is you forgot to collect symmetrical evidence. You have different types of evidence for case A as you have for case B, and therefore cannot reach any conclusion. Actually, the only conclusion you can reach is here for reason 3, where you have comparative symmetrical evidence. You can say that you can eliminate this as a reason. So what is going to follow is I'm going to show you a set of different test scenarios, and I want you to let me know which of those reasons in these particular scenarios can explain the variations in outcome.